From the Fathead Studio in Speedway, Indiana, this is The Skinny.
Maybe I need to start in the trash truck business.
Don't rule it out.
So my body holds about 11 units of blood, the average human body, guy my size, and I had 22 units put in because I had 2 full oil changes.
He's airborne, and then I'm above him.
Inverted.
All at the same time. Yeah, you're just like, wow, that's a wild picture.
Boom, and then it goes boom, and it comes back out.
I hang up on the guy. I go, who's this? This is Deion Sanders. I go, yeah, nice try. See you later.
Bounce and then this insane roll. That thing sent it.
No. It's okay, we come back. They just do it.
Man, am I still pretty? And he's like, you ain't pretty, but you're going to be all right.
If I was a few years older, you might be calling me Grandpappy. I think, all right.
Hi, I'm Tony Stewart.
I'm Scott Dixon.
I'm Mario Andretti.
I'm Christy Lee.
I'm Travis Pastrana.
Hey, I'm Antron Brown.
Hi, I'm Santino Ferrucci, and this is The Skinny.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Skinny. It's going to be a high-energy show because we got a high-energy guest on it with us here today. I'm Ken Stout. That's Rico Elmore. And as Townsend Bell would call you, Ferocious Ferrucci. Santino Ferrucci has joined us here on the set. We have Michael Young running the controls. Of course, as always, Julie Natus is in with us. And is it Marie? Marie has joined us
Marie's
as well.
here.
Hop in. She kind of keeps your
hang on. There's Marie. Come on. Wait, Marie.
Marie basically is a babysitter extraordinaire for me. She, as much as she hates it, but yes, she called me like 3 or 4 times while I was trying to get here, but I was putting on 18 to win the match.
Were you?
Yeah.
How much money was on the hole?
$200 on the hole. 30-foot putt, drained.
Why did you really?
Drained.
Oh, you're borrowing dinner.
Drained it. Took AJ the Fourth's money. Me and Larry were teammate. And I took off, called Michael, and he goes, "Yo, it's TV." So I had to go to my bus, grab my shirt and hat, and roll it.
Oh, you thought it was radio?
Yeah,
you thought it was a podcast.
It happened.
It was for a number of years.
It happened. So hey, we're here now. I'm a little smelly from the course, but I love it.
No, you're sitting next to Rico, so I won't tell. I won't be able to.
Yeah. Bro, my nose can't smell anything anyhow. So.
Great to have you on the show, man.
Oh man, I'm happy I was able to make this work. This is awesome. I mean, little last minute, thanks, Michael, but
you're welcome.
It works.
He absolutely got ran over by Johnny Rutherford earlier.
Oh my God, I love that.
I was like,
oh, so did we.
Man, that guy just rolls around in the bus lot with aviators on, just like sup, like true Texan style. Not quite AJ. Because I don't think AJ would ever look at you twice.
No.
AJ will tell you get the hell out of the way, then hit you with the golf cart. He's as hard as they come, man.
Yeah, Davey Hamilton told the story about AJ called him, and this is what Davey drove for him. And he called him like the day after the season had ended, and he's like, "Hey," he goes, "Come down to the ranch. I need to talk to you." And he says, "Okay." So Davey's all worried, like this is it. This is the end, right? I'm getting cut. I'm done. So he goes down there, and
he says, "Well, when do you want me to come down?" He's thinking he's in Vegas or something.
Yeah.
He's thinking, the next couple of days. He said, "Well, right now, like get on a plane, like come down right now."
Tells him like almost immediately. So Davey goes down there. He's in somewhat dressed clothes, and thinks he's meeting with AJ. Well, he gets out there, and AJ's got this big piece of plate steel laying across these 2 methanol barrels. And he says, "You know how to weld, don't you?" But Davey's like, "Well, yeah." He goes, "All right, I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to put it on the front of the bulldozer so I can push stuff over." So Davey's in dress clothes. AJ's in there cutting on that. Well, it runs out. Which is it? Is it oxygen or Sedlink?
Well, first he said, "Hey, man, if you're going to do that, take these glasses." And he takes his sunglasses off and he gives them to AJ. So AJ's cutting away, and one of the bottles runs out. And when it runs out, it pops. It always pops really big, like loud. And it goes, right in his face. He's like, "Woo, glad you gave me those."
Like the glasses are melted. Davey thinks he blew up from cutting one of the tanks in half.
But it's literally on top of a methanol drum that he's doing the cutting on. He's a madman.
Nothing surprises me anymore with AJ. I'm so fortunate. So my era of driver, basically, I'm born 98. So I'm 25. Most drivers my age that are like 27 to 18 never grew up with that era. They grew up with like Will or Dario or something like that. So I never really got to see AJ ever race in his heyday, like my dad and, some of you guys.
Yeah, sure.
So me spending time with him, I'm so fortunate because I get to hear these stories and like I sit there in my chair like, you did not. And it's, yeah. And we did it again. Again? Like, what? I mean,
he's out of control.
I thought I was nuts, man. And they call me Ferocious Ferrucci. I don't deserve that title whatsoever.
Yeah, you're out there on the edge by today's standards for sure.
Yeah, for today's standards, man, I'm not even a blip in the radar. You go back to the 70s. It's unbelievable. That's how
No chance.
that's what's changed in our generation, man. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I mean, they're penalizing Sunhouse for throwing fists. They make fun of us because all we do is give each other the bird. But no one's going to come down and fight me on the grid. I mean, I'm 5'5", 125, but I can pack a punch, man. But no one's got the balls.
Oh, I love it.
If I'm not winning, I don't care.
The Skinny is brought to you by Fatheads Eyewear. Fatheads Eyewear, hardcore since '04. And American Coach. Innovation is our life force.
Welcome back to the Skinny. This is the Fatheads Eyewear Studio. We have Santino Ferrucci, driver of the number 14 car for AJ Foyt Racing. Has a great record out at the Speedway. Two top fives. I think you've been there 5 times. Does that sound right?
Five
times, 2 top fives, 5 top 10s. You've never finished outside of the top 10.
Knock on wood, baby.
On the podium 1 year ago, and a threat to win that thing. Had Pato not balled it up, did you have something for him?
No, it has nothing to do with Pato.
I know, but you were he brought out that last caution.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of rode my own race, and I let all the top guys take each other out, which I thought was entertaining. I mean, when you're in my position and you're just riding, and our race car last year was good. Like, it wasn't wow. Our qualifying car was wow, and I messed that up. So we should have been on the front row at the minimum, and that's on me. But our race car was good, and, we were just mind our own business, run our own race, We let them take each other out. Had they not wrecked for 25th, God knows what trophy they were fighting for. We probably
in the back. And that was a Foyt car.
Well, in fairness, it had nothing to do with him.
Oh, I didn't see the whole breakdown, but he was the fastest qualifying rookie for AJ Foyt Racing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I feel bad because he was a passenger in that one, and obviously
Benjamin Peterson.
Yeah, he should have finished the race, but I mean, why we got 2 veterans? I'm not saying which 2 veterans. Carpenter. I don't know what happened, but I know it was Carpenter, Ray Hall, and my teammate. They all got together. They wrecked for 25th or 22nd.
Yeah, it was deep.
You're wrecking for 25th on 3 laps to go, 4 laps to go when the leaders are fighting for a race win. I mean, what are we doing? Like, Montoya put it best. If I'm not winning, I don't care.
Yeah.
That was his words, man.
It's kind of like when Dixon came back out, and guess what? He just rode around.
Yeah, just hang on the back.
That was when you were going to get a ring.
Yeah, remember? Yeah, that slipped away.
That close.
Lap 160.
Oh, yeah.
You lead your first laps at the Indianapolis 500.
Man, everyone loves that radio transmission. And I love to talk with Larry about this. I am very calm in the car. For the most part, I do get fiery. I have made my own mistakes, owned up to those. I've tried to be a better person. Feel like I am. Feel like I've learned. So I always try to be as calm as I can. But there's always points in that race where, man, you also got to remember you're turning left with your foot down doing 230 miles an hour. Ain't no reason why you can't get on radio and be like, hey, boss, shall we lead a couple? I mean, why not? Right?
Turn me loose for a minute.
Yeah, like let me turn the wick up. Turn the boost up. Let's put our foot down, and let's put the red, white, and blue out front.
Yeah.
And he was, hell yeah.
It was super cool. 2 parts. First of all, you have a lot of your own fans. But then second part was the ones that aren't necessarily even paying attention to you just love the 14 car. So they all merged together, and it was like all of a sudden you had this groundswell of support. It's like the 14 cars leading the 500.
Well, it's honestly, it's 3 groups. All right. It's my fans that love and hate me because I have both. And Jeff Gordon put it best. As long as they love you, they hate you, they're talking about you. You have AJ's fans, the 14 car. And then you have the drunk people in the stands that see the red, white, and blue car out front and go, America. So, yes, that's
Not that there's any of those.
Yeah, no. I mean, dude, 400,000 people there. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Cool.
I mean, who doesn't love America on Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah.
So let's fast forward 9 more laps. You make a pit stop. The front tire gets away from them, rolls in front of the car. I'm sure you're watching it, thinking to yourself, no, no, no. They snag it at the very end, but it rolls across the line out of the pit box. He gets a penalty, and everybody's waiting for this drive-through penalty, but it didn't happen.
It wasn't going to happen.
They gave you a penalty, but it was a warning and a monetary fine. And they did not take that lead away from you. We beat up on IndyCar. Everybody likes to beat up on IndyCar all the time, but that was a pretty cool call.
So the reason why, a lot of people question that call, right? Hinchcliffe, who is my favorite supporter. Snowflake over there. It's okay, he's from Canada. We'll cut him some slack. So he wasn't wrong. He was not wrong. It technically should be a drive-through when it is a danger to other cars. If that's a yellow flag stop, that tire crosses that white line, that is a drive-through, 100% cut and dry. We were the only car in hit lane.
There was nobody around you.
So it's a different set of no one's in danger. There's no like commotion going on. There's none of this. Like, why are we gonna give someone a drive-through and for something that has no effect on anybody else's day?
Right.
So yeah, they just fined you $10,000. Which it's fine. We made way more than that day.
Big moment. Were you concerned? Did you see that tire rolling across? What were you thinking?
I did. I saw it come across the front towards the end of the stop, and I went, I think that's mine. And then I watched Dids. Man, if anyone's ever met Dids, my chief mechanic, this guy is tatted fingertip to toe. I mean, armpits, between the toes, between the fingers, like all the way up to the neck. Would not mess with this guy. You could never pay me enough to mess with this guy. I want this guy in my corner everywhere I go. He's got hands like a 6'8" NBA player. Hands like freakishly large. And you just see him swing his arm out and just go, pop. I'm just like,
That's it.
yeah. I was like, well, that solves that issue. Drop a gear and disappear,
Let's
boys.
get out of here, man.
Let's roll. That's all I was thinking at that point.
Yeah, it was definitely a moment, man. But you got back out there, you got in the fight, and then of course we had right after that. Rosenquist had his moment that collected Kirkwood, that brought out a red flag, and then Pato has his moment trying to pass Newgarden, and then that wreck in the back that you mentioned up with 4 to go, and
that Kirkwood one was unnecessary. By all means, not the tire flying.
And was all that stuff happening directly in front of you?
I'm sorry, but how do you? In what race sense do you have? You see a car wrecking in front of you, the car in front of you checking up, and what goes through your mind is to just keep it flat. See what are you doing, dude? Had he hit us and ruined our day, we would have pummeled him and his team. Like, I would have not held back on that one. Because that right there, common sense isn't common.
Good call, Townsend. Ferocious Ferrucci is in there.
I'm sorry. Dude, I call it as it is. I call a spade a spade.
He's going to call it now.
I'm sorry. What are you thinking, man? They're wrecking in front of you. You are one back from me. Get up. You have a better view because you get to react off of my reactions, and you take yourself out.
And somebody said, why did they blur out the thumbs up?
I thought that was the universal thank you. Hey, race fans, welcome back to The Skinny. I'm Santino Ferrucci. We're here with our hosts who aren't so skinny, but it's okay. We love them anyway. Hey, look, they let me do it back. Come on, I had to do it.
Hey, Michael, were you okay on that? Because he didn't do the full countdown. He went 3-2 and he forgot that last one.
He didn't do any of it like I told him to do it, but it doesn't matter because that's probably been the best line I've seen thus far this season.
Right,
That's the best welcome back this show's ever had right there.
Why is it the smallest fellas that come in here, him and Kat's talking about how big a fat being Stout are?
Dude, it's just wrong.
What's going on with that?
I did not use that word.
Okay, I'll use it. It's me.
Yeah, it's not incorrect, unfortunately.
Yeah.
By the way, you can't see him. We'll have him in the next segment, but the boss is in the house here. So Larry Foyt has walked into the studio as well. We'll get him in here next segment. But man, let's go back out to the Speedway. Not necessarily for the 500. That race before, and there was communication, as they say, between you and Grosjean and Romain. You and Romain seem to be. So apparently they blurted out on social media, and somebody said, "Why did they blur out the thumbs up?"
I thought that was the universal thank you.
I
Everyone knows the universal thank you.
I've seen so many sprint cars where they're going around each other with the arm hanging out back in the day.
It's embarrassing that that's all we do. I mean, like, that's all we get, though. I mean, we're surrounded by an aero screen. I got small arms, man. Do you have any idea how hard I had to reach to get my hand outside the cockpit? It's so difficult. It really is.
International communication. Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
I think they got the point. The best I could tell, the point was taken very well.
It has been a battle, and listen, man, you fight for your space. You've had to fight for your space out there. I think everybody does to some degree. Otherwise, they'll eat your lunch every single time. So is it a development of earning your respect? I mean, you've got to show the speed, but when the speed is there, I mean, those guys will crush you if you let them.
Well, it's different. I've been a rookie in this series my first 2 years, and I was part-time. And when you're part-time, you're not really a championship threat. So everyone's a little different. Last year, we struggled at a lot of races. It was always a building experience. It was one of those things where it was always, we will be better when we come back. And now that we're better, people want to treat us like we're still not. And you got to have the mentality of pass or get passed. And, sometimes people don't want to show us the respect that we deserve now that we're fighting. And you know what? Elbows out, man. I'll earn it back the hard way. And if they don't like that, that's their problem.
Going back to the 500 last year, those last couple of restarts with, I think 15 laps to go, you and Rossi were, in a vicious battle down the back straightaway, right down by the grass. And then on that final restart, you and Palou, again, you kind of had to give him a little hip check because he was making a run. You're like, no, you're not getting in here. I'm top three. I'm staying right here. But you're right. It's all or nothing at that point.
First off, Palou's run last year from the adversity that he overcame from getting wrecked in pit lane to the back to the front was impressive.
Yeah.
So, but
that car was,
that car was
on the pole.
That car was good, man.
He had a hummer.
But no, it's it's one of those like, hey, don't put your nose there. I'm about to turn in. Like, mind your space. Rossi just like that. I just own real estate there. I really do. I know you're laughing, but it's so true. I'm gonna become a real estate mogul like my best man after this. I really am. I just own it up and down. It's great. It's unbelievable. Like, I start charging people rent.
Well, you took some of his because I think he kicked a little grass up. So he was trying to own some real estate.
They could try if they want. He knows where I stand. He tried to mess with us all month, which look, that's fine. You want to come out of pit lane and do 100 down the XL lane when we're trying to merge on the track at 230 miles an hour. I'll go around you on the apron all day long.
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was right in front of our sleeves.
Yeah. It's just like,
going on out here?
Look, I get it. You're not happy, but like, I'll make my car wider than you think. The track's available.
You bring up good points. So it's some of the stuff that goes on that the fans would never see or hear about. But as we practice out there for all week long, the Monday and the Friday before, and everybody coming off a pit road and blending up and all that seat time around each other. And there are unwritten rules at that speedway that you do to respect others. Otherwise, you put them in an extremely bad situation.
Which that was.
Right.
And I don't appreciate that. And then we moved forward to Detroit. This is where I like to use the car because I love the car. I took the spine off the nose. Larry wasn't too happy about that, but it's okay. He came out in front of me in Detroit and checked up on me, so I punted him into the runoff practice.
Do you ever get frustrated at the fact that how many times do we have to go through these lessons before they realize this is how I'm going to race? I'll give you your respect, but you got to give me some as well.
Well, I think it's a lot easier with the older crowd. So like with Will Dixon, all the guys that have been around in the sport, like We race each other real clean, real hard, never touch, never have an issue with them. It's the people that are my age that I grew up with that's a little different. You know, one of the biggest things was Pato, Road America, last year. He literally hip checked me into the grass down the start. And I came up to him after the race and I grabbed him. I was like, dude, I've been racing you since we were 5 and 6 years old. You really had to do that? Oh, I was like, no. I've been racing you clean. I want you to race me clean. Let's move on. All right. Deal. Done. Easy. Respect like that is something that you just talk through. It's not a problem. So someone like Pato that you have respect for, Power, Dixon, all the guys that have been around that have respect for others, you race clean, you never touch, but it is hard racing every time. And it's what's great about the sport. Then you have other people that don't see it that way. So there's certain people that, as they would say, is not good in my French accent.
Santino Ferrucci lighting this place up here this week. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to add a person in. Mr. Larry Foyt is in the house, so we'll put the boss in as well.
Most intense 10 miles of your year. I hate qualifying. It's the worst. It's literally the worst thing you could ever do.
Welcome back to the Skinny here at the Fatheads Eyewear Studio. From left to right, I'm Ken Stout. That's Rico, Elmore. Santino Ferrucci in the house, and his boss, that is Larry Foyt, president of AJ Foyt Racing, has joined us on the set here as well. Great to have both of these guys here. And you talked about playing golf when you first got in here. Larry wasn't here yet, so now we have a chance to verify because he said he drained the 30-footer to end the game and make $200.
Take?
Is there any truth to that, or was it like 3 feet away?
Feet. It was good. We have a lot of fun on the golf course. Yeah. We had AJ the fourth out there today. So
did you take his money?
It was good.
I did. And I split it with Larry because Larry made a 4-footer for birdie. And I bet on Larry making it, and he did.
As long as you can take his money. Give him all the I can give him every time I see. So.
I didn't even have an option in partners, which was so funny because I guess the fourth really wants to beat you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, I'd take Larry any day. It's like all day long.
Great stuff. It's cool that you guys are out there having a little bit of fun on what is for sure a very, very busy week, especially for the drivers.
Well, qualifying is so stressful. And like we were talking about, he hung it out there. He put it all out there. It's nice to just relax for a couple days before we get back in race mode, right? And
yeah. I had to make him sweat a little bit on lap 3 and 4. Else I wouldn't be earning my money. I mean, it was a little sweaty for me too, but still. Got to drive it.
How hairy was it for you?
Well, 4 was more lap 4, turn 4 was more my mistake because I was a little antsy on the weight jacker and I pulled the trigger a little soon and yeah, she got a little away.
Tell the people what you're going through because they think you're just sitting in there driving a lap, but you guys are actually pretty busy. Are you guys talking to him on the radio, reminding him use your tools, or you're telling him that weight jacker into 3 or whatever the case may be?
No, he gets really zoned in. Some drivers want to be spoken to during qualifying. He does not. He wants it quiet. He just wants to. He gets zoned in. So we kind of see what's going on because we're watching, obviously, real time what he's doing inside the car with the tools and things like that. And I'm watching the TV, and you can, it's a really, I think, a good package we've got here at qualifying right now because you see these cars sliding at these speeds. It's pretty wild. So yeah, you can see it for sure.
Yeah. Can you walk us through a lap, or is that and I don't want you to tell something that might give somebody else an advantage, but can you walk us through a lap and qualifying of what you're doing, the adjustments you're making?
Yeah, obviously I am one of the few drivers. I feel like, everyone's different. Like you hear the radio comments of people lap 1, lap 2, map this, map that. When I first started in the sport, my first qualifying run, the second I got, because it's such a thing of focus and such a thing of precision when you're doing 240 to turn into 1, that I just need my head perfectly clear. I have everything done in muscle memory. So I have all my maps in muscle memory. I have all my rotaries for weight jacker, front bar, muscle memory. I do the same thing every time. We go out, we do our warm-up lap, you get the hot slot going down the back for us. The second I get through 3, 4, depending on the balance, because we're almost up to speed, if I feel like it's a little oversteery, a little understeery, I make a bar adjustment for 1. And if I don't like it, I go back or I go more, and then I start messing with the weight jacker going up and down. And every lap, you're going through maps, and engine slots for the tuning because you got to pay attention to the tuning. So I know what the run through is. I have it memorized. And then once I get to lap 3, I'm just driving the car. So lap 3 and lap 4, where your fall off is the worst, I'm on the bars, I'm on the tuning tools, all the engine stuff's done, and I'm just fully forward listening with that and tuning off of that, trying to keep our drop off to a minimum. And it's worked out pretty well. We've been one of the more consistent 4-lap cars.
So on the steering wheel, you can see the lights going out or the one going across and then the ones down the side. What's that in regards to?
It's the fast jacker. So every team has a fast jacker, which raises and lowers the car. It's actually quite cool. I took video of it in pit lane because they were on our pit stand because I never really got to see how much it moved. And it's kind of weird. It's like you ever see the old videos of the 1991 Williams that Senna used to drive, or the 92, where they have the car doing the active aero and active suspension stuff. Kind of looks like that on the pad. It's really wild to me. It's a cool piece of technology. But I mean, you're hitting switches every straight, going back and forth. Just you can't miss one, can't forget one.
So you want to trim it out, obviously, for the speed, and then you want to put maybe a little rake in it, get some weight up on the nose to get it to turn in.
Yep, and every driver's doing it. Every driver does it different. Like if you watch Pato, they talk about Pato all the time because he holds his down, so he doesn't forget. So he lifts his finger off the button and turns in. Like every driver, it's a complete comfort thing. So you want to do whatever the driver's comfortable with doing because it is the most intense 10 miles of your year. I hate qualifying. It's the worst. It's literally the worst thing you could ever do. And it's the worst thing for a team owner to go through because he's got to watch me take this beautiful piece of machinery that we've spent 6 months massaging on that's at the cost of, at least $1 million, and just run it on the ragged edge, slide it up to the wall, and absolutely squeeze every little bit out of it. Those guys did get me once, though, with the 50-pound sway bar or whatever the heck they made. I was searching for this thing for like 2-3 hours.
The Skinny is brought to you by American Coach. American Coach. Innovation is our life force. And Fatheads Eyewear. Fatheads Eyewear. Hardcore since '04.
Welcome back to the Skinny. Man, what a great show here with 2 great guests. We have both the president of AJ Foyt Racing, Larry Foyt, on the set with us, and his driver sitting right alongside, Santino Ferrucci. And we were chatting a little bit during commercial break as well, and it's going to come up. It's certainly one of my questions, but Larry had spoke about it just a little bit. Let's talk about the Chili Bowl, man. You are a perfect personality to be driving a midget, and you decide, hey, man, I want to drive one of these things, so let's go to the most prestigious, most difficult race in the world to compete in the Chili Bowl.
I got a phone call back when I first started. Someone goes, I got a Chili Bowl car. You want to go run it? I was like, what is that? Oh, it's a dirt midget. You'll be fine. Like, you can do this. And I'm like, never run on dirt. How hard can this be?
Like 300 plus cars.
Yeah.
What the hell could go wrong?
So then I call my buddy and I'm like, hey, man, you ever heard of this race? And he goes, the Chili Bowl? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he said the Chili Bowl. He goes, yeah, it's like 500 for dirt people. And I was like, so you're telling me like there's like 30, 40 people? He's like, no, like 350.
Yeah.
And so I've had an interesting Chili Bowl career. So I went there a couple times, and I put one sky high on the fence, and everyone thought I would be done.
That was year 1. I watched that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I came back. I'm back for 3 more. I got Larry to come out with me this year.
Are you going this year?
Oh, no, I got Larry to come out with me this past year.
Okay, right.
You can't tell me that was not the most fun.
Well, I tell you, I don't know if you remember. Well, I was probably talking to your agent more, but when I heard about, when I was looking at hiring him for IndyCar, and then they said, well, he's going to drive a midget in the Chili Bowl, and I was like, what? That, no, you don't want your guy to get hurt.
Yeah.
You think about
David Malukas' setup is like, you hate to have something happen.
Think about McCready. Earlier in the fence and won.
Yeah, broke his
back.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I mean, well, it's open wheel cars, and those little midgets get it, right? Like it was fun. So, but he said, "Man, I got a deal." I know, I loved it. I had never been to Chili Bowl, so it was fun to go.
We were up in the VIP drinking moonshine.
But it is incredible, right? I mean, the level of talent. Well, I mean, we know Larson.
Unreal.
I mean, Larson, cut his teeth through there, and Christopher Bell, and I mean, whatever the list is, very, very long of incredible drivers that have come out of there.
I mean, you're going back with me this year, are you not?
Oh, I'll get back.
Yeah.
It's super fun.
We're talking about actually. running
Whose
some
car were
race-
you in?
I was in Dave Mack, Toyota.
Okay.
So different manufacturer, just kind of how it is. I've had a relationship. They're local guys, have a local sponsor, a bunch of them. So it's kind of made sense. But we're talking about getting some laps this year, some practice.
Uh-huh.
So actually not just kind of handicap myself by doing 10 laps.
Throwing her in there.
Yeah.
10-lap warm up.
It's
good.
It's tough, man. And I run Friday nights, and Friday nights never easy. And the track, by the time you get to Friday, is always track prep there is impossible. I mean, those guys are running it for so many, they're running it for 3 weeks, thousands of cars by the time we get
They had a
there.
really, really good track prep guy there, but they ran him on.
Yeah, he's a wannabe racer.
I mean, he's going straight now.
Yeah.
How hard can that be? He's one of the few drivers that's driven everything.
Oh, yeah.
I think literally everything from Formula One down.
And very good at it.
Yeah, down to, I mean, I was there when he did the seat swap. That's how I got to meet Tony.
Yeah.
So I was a little kid.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, you got
that.
me at like 3 foot, body, 4 foot hair. And then I started coming around because I was so amazed by it, and I was helping him do helping them do tire pressures on race weekends, and I'd come to, and I had fun, man. It was cool. They sneaked me into the pits. Those guys did get me once though with the 50-pound sway bar or whatever the heck they made. I was searching for this thing for like 2-3 hours up and down pit lane, and everybody was in this damn joke. Yeah, it was not fun. I mean, that's the hazing I got as like a 13-year-old kid.
That's
so
when they love you, man.
yeah, I know. I was one of them after that.
Yeah.
Because after that, I was like, I won't take from nobody now. I was like, I ain't getting anybody anything.
That's it.
I was like, I don't care what it is.
Want to get the skinny on other guests and different types of motorsports? Check out our YouTube page and get the skinny.
The president of AJ Foyt Racing, Mr. Larry Foyt, has stayed with us here on the set. We appreciate that for sure. That fire plug, Santino Ferrucci, is now out of the studio. He has plenty of things to take care of.
Yeah, my blood pressure was going up. I didn't know what the hell's going on here.
So hats off to you in your position to deal with everything that you deal with, from the team owner to IndyCar itself, to the drivers, all the different personalities. How do you manage it?
You forgot one thing, AJ.
I said the team owner.
Oh, that.
It's a lot. No, you're right. It's a lot, but it's fun. I mean, my gosh, grown up in this world, this crazy racing world, and just love it. Love that we still have AJ with us every day, and that he's around. We've had a lot of fun with Santino, going to second year working with him. Him and I get along really well, and we've become really good friends, and it's fun. I really haven't bonded probably with a driver like Santino and I. We just like to hang out. We were golfing today and doing things together. But he just, he loves racing, and he's a lot like AJ. He'll drive a dirt car. He'll go. I went to the Chili Bowl and watched him race, and just stuff like that. He's a racer, and that's just that makes it a lot of fun. But like the IndyCar landscape, it's changing. It's tough. We have this hybrid unit coming on board. We have a lot of things. I think the whole world, everything's expensive right now in our lives, even in our daily lives. And racing, it's the same. Everything's expensive. So a lot of my time is working on sponsorship and make sure we have the funding to pay for all that. But still love it, and just want to win one for AJ. That's really what we all want to do.
Well, you certainly have a great racehorse to do that, and I agree. It's funny. I know it's a whole different era. He's a whole different type of personality, but there's a lot of parallels there with his fiery personality that AJ was inside of the race car. He might not have the big brawn that AJ had, where he could climb out of the car and straighten out a couple of noses if need be, but when that kid's in the car and he has that helmet on, man, it doesn't matter. He's 10 feet tall and he'll fight with anybody about anything.
He does, and you can talk the talk, but you have to back it up, right? And he definitely does that here at Indy. I mean, he put it all out there qualifying. It was fun to watch him. Well, I say fun. It was nerve-wracking to watch him slide that car around, right? I didn't I watched that first lap. I was like, oh, this is 3 more. This is going to be interesting. We didn't have anything for the Penske boys. I mean, those cars were on rails, but I saw Scotty Mack today, and I was talking to him, and I said, was it hard? And he said, the last 2 laps were a little dicey. It wasn't easy. And that's cool. I mean, just great. Love working with those guys. And, but they've been on form this month, and they're going to be tough to beat come Sunday.
How important, Michael and I were chatting about this earlier. Cannon was part of the Ganassi team for a number of years, and he jumped over there with you guys last year. And I saw immediate results. Obviously, you ran so good, and he's up on the podium. How influential was he to the team last year in making some of those changes?
Oh, he's great, and he loves Indianapolis, like the Indy 500. He is all about it, and he just has he lights up when you start talking about Indy, and he has a special mindset and wants to go fast here. So he's a huge asset to a small team like us, for sure. And it takes a whole group, but we love having Cannon. I love Mike Cannon, especially here at Indianapolis. He really wants to go well here and win one for AJ also. So it's really cool.
What is the hardest part about running this team? And obviously, with some stability with Santino, you found success here at Indianapolis. But I think one of the brightest moments thus far in the season was your run at Barber Motorsports Park that you guys led for quite some time. That this team has finally seemed to get past that next hurdle and find success and speed, and now you're keeping up with the big boys. What was the key in finding that? Was it baby steps, or was there a couple of big steps we talked about Michael Cannon coming in?
It's so many things. I tell you, this field, this IndyCar field is so close any given weekend.
It really is.
What you see is, we, like everybody, you're doing what you're doing. We went down a development path on dampers, right? Because as IndyCar, everyone talks about, well, it's a spec series. A lot of the parts are spec. It's a shame that we spend so much money, I think, in areas that the fans don't necessarily see, right? They don't see our shock absorbers and understand maybe what all is going into that. But it's an open area development on the IndyCar side. So we put a lot of resource in that. And we came out with a new damper last year that we developed with Penske Shocks. And it was really good on some certain type of tracks. We nailed it. The smooth places, the Road Americas, we were very fast. Even Laguna Seca, we were fast. But it wasn't great over the bumps. We missed it there, but we've been working on that. But now also working with Penske Racing is a great thing. We the technical partnership that we did with them is also, I think, very helpful for a small team. So all of it together, it's just tough. I mean, every place you go, it's just tough. We obviously put a lot into the Indy 500 because that's a place we really care about, and that's our biggest race. But yeah, I mean, man, Barber was great. That's one of those places we were trying to be better at.
Smooth track.
Smooth track. And man, it's so tough. This IndyCar.
It's hundredths of a second to decide whether you're in the fast 12 or not. I mean, never mind the fast 6. It's so tight. It is exciting stuff to watch. I mean,
it's wild. And I mean, we knew qualifying for the Indy 500 was going to be important because everyone is so close. And when you're behind 10 or more cars, it's really hard to I don't think we're going to see people dicing through the field like you used to see. It's just, everyone's so tough. Everyone's so close that's really hard. Later on you're 20 laps in and you got 10 laps left on your tires, maybe the handling will really come in and we'll see who can go forward and who's really fast on late in the stint. But yeah, man, everything is so tight. Like you say, it's tough. But I remember going to Jack and I said, Jack, can I come after school and work? And he said, yep, you're the new janitor. Welcome.
The Skinny is brought to you by Fatheads Eyewear. Fatheads Eyewear, hardcore since '04. And American Coach. Innovation is our life force.
Welcome back to the Fatheads Eyewear Studio. It is AJ Foyt Racing Day. We started off with Santino Ferrucci inside of the studio. Just a great personality and a better driver. So exciting to watch. If you only pick one car out there, the 14 car is a great one to keep your eyes on for sure. And now we have the president of AJ Foyt Racing, Mr. Larry Foyt, has joined us here. And if you're not familiar with him, he has quite the driver's resume as well. A lot of time coming up through karting. You were in ASA, you're in ARCA, Xfinity, trucks, Cup. I mean, you have a lot of seat time as well, and I'm sure that's very valuable. It's probably demands a lot of respect from somebody like a Santino Ferrucci to look at you and say, that guy's been in the seat, man. He gets it.
These kids, they don't remember that back that far. So,
absolutely no respect.
They're more like, oh, you know. No, it
just lobbed it up there too. I saw it.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun for sure. I mean, it was tough. I kind of, I got started late. I think everyone probably assumes AJ just wanted us to race, but it was quite the opposite. He did not want us driving cars. I mean, that was part of his saying. He said, you're going to go to college and get an education, and then maybe I'll help you after that, And I used to go to my mom. I was like, Mom, why won't he help? Why can't I try this go-karts or whatever? And she kept just saying, show him how bad you want it. So I quit all my stick and ball sports in high school and went to the race shop. Jack Starn, who's still with us now. I mean, he was AJ's crew chief starting in the, probably in the 70s. He's been with us over 55 years now.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
But I remember going to Jack and I said, Jack, can I come after school and work? And he said, yep, you're the new janitor. Welcome. So just cleaning the toilets in the race shop. That's long story short, it was hard to get going, but then everything started happening really quickly. Like you say, did go-karts and raced some Formula Fords. And at the time, IndyCar, we had the split, so no one really knew exactly what was going to happen. And we had started the Cup team, and we had support from Harrah's Casinos, and they really liked the NASCAR side, and that's why I ended up going to ASA. And I loved ASA stock car racing. That was probably some of the most fun I ever had. I got to work with the short track legend Butch Miller because I'd never driven a short track. Like, I'm going to ASA, I'm racing against Gary St. Amant, Mike Eddy.
Gary St. Amant, I haven't heard that name forever. He was
I know these are like racing legends. I'm just eyes wide open. I've never, I'm rolling into Hickory, Hickory Speedway, and I'm like, wow, this is something.
Was this late '90s, early 2000s?
This was 2000 exactly. Yeah,
2000 exactly.
Yeah.
So I missed you by probably 3 years. My first ever live show was on Speed Channel, and I was a pit reporter for ASA. So.
Yeah. I mean, it was great racing.
What car did you drive?
Really
the
was.
Fico car?
No, I was in the Harrah's car.
Harrah's car?
14, yeah.
Okay.
14 Harrah's car, and super fun. I think I still have the track record at Winchester. I sat on the pole at Winchester. That's big race, big high bank, and loved it. I mean, it was so much fun learning from Butch. We just had a good group of guys, and that was fun racing. All the crew, we all jumped in the van and we'd go race to race, and it was a good time, and a lot of fun.
Did you see AJ much? I mean, my guess is he was on the road all the time.
He was, because we had the Cup team and the Indy cars. He was back and forth, so he didn't make a lot of the ASA races. So funny, I talk about Winchester when I got the pole there. I remember I went out early and I set the time, and I was so nervous. I went and sat in the stands. I was watching, just watching everybody's run, thinking someone's going to get me, but I really wanted that pole. And I got the pole, and I remember I called him. I said, Dad, I got the pole at Winchester, and he goes, the throttle stick? It was just, that's good old AJ right there for you.
Thanks, Dad.
Right at you. Were you looking up through the right-hand corner of the car when you were there? I mean, it's so
that's all you
banked,
see is
man.
the sky, and then it kind of rolls back down to the
Love that track.
Well, yeah, and I remember Salem, coming out of open wheel cars. ASA was the first stock car I'd ever driven, and we were at Salem, and I remember in the race, I got up in the wall. I bounced off the wall, and I said to the crew chief, "Hey, I hit the wall." He's like, "It's a stock car. Keep going. You're fine." I figured I've surely broke it. It's so different from the open wheel things, getting in the stock car. And but yeah, we had so much fun. Like I say, those were good memories. A lot of fun.
Awesome stuff. It's been a great show here. Loved having Santino on a little bit earlier. If he joined us late, of course, Larry Foyt here as well. Keeps control of all of that madness that's going on out there at the racetrack. So, AJ Foyt Racing Day. We couldn't be happier to have these guys on. Some of the absolute best of all time. True living legends. Hope you enjoyed the skinny.